There.
There?
You're live.
Hey!
Hello.
Are we really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And we know what? SpinningWheelsTour.ca. Mike is on the keyboard over there, making sure things hopefully go right. Darlene is out talking to Gail. We're in Calgary, Alberta. One province down, and we'll get to that a little bit more. But Steve, what in terms of this week, what's one thing you'd like to talk about?
First, I was doing some quick calculations of statistics. We've passed 2,000 kilometers. We are at 2,324 kilometers. And here's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
For our accumulated vertical, we are at 22,630 meters, which is climbing Everest 2.5 times.
That, you know what? I was wondering why my legs were a little bit tired, and that explains it there. Wow.
That's right.
Didn't know that. Wow. Good for us.
Yes. So in this last week, one of the significant highlights for me was when we went into Fernie, and I got to collect with my family, who I hadn't seen in I guess it would have been about 3 weeks by then. There was 17 of us together, and it was quite a big deal for me, actually.
Yeah, it would have been a big deal for us too. I mean, they made us feel very welcome.
So if any family members happen to be tuning in, thank you so much for treating us like family.
Yeah. And it was very nice to meet you all. You know what? One of the things we did in Fernie on our off days, and maybe some of you have read Steve's blog or watched the video clip on through the website, is that we went whitewater rafting. Now, Steve's gone whitewater rafting numerous times, but I think the person that it meant the most to was the guy you're not seeing right now is Mike, who has always wanted to go whitewater rafting. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think you've ever seen Mike smile as much as he did when he was doing that. Whenever the guide said, okay, does anyone want to jump in and swim in the water and go through the rapids? Like he didn't even finish the sentence before Mike was in the water. And so that was good. Now, you know what? If you've seen the video, you know, and read the blog, you know, we had a little adventure there, but we got through it fine. And really want to thank Logan and the crew at Canyon River Rafting Company for helping us have such a great day. So yeah, that was one of the things I thought people should know about our day off.
For me, so usually when you get older and you start developing syndromes and diseases, your abilities start to curtail, maybe even plummet.
What? Really?
I had my very best cycling output day yesterday. It wasn't the fastest I'd ever been. It wasn't the furthest I'd ever ridden or the highest I'd ever scaled. But when you put them all together, it was the most strenuous day and the greatest output that I ever achieved, and I just couldn't be more proud of that.
And you did 140K and averaged
145,
and averaged about 31 kilometers an hour, which, you know, now 145, 143. That was my longest ride ever. But for you to do that was quite impressive. I say well done to you.
And just shy of 2 kilometers up.
That's right. Yeah, we were really pushing it.
And it's worth noting that it was Jim's longest ride ever.
It is worth noting that. Yes. You know what? Before we got to Fernie, we decided that we would get off the highway and take a trail, which was fine.
Who made that decision?
You know what? I think actually Mike made that decision. I'm not sure. I believe it was Steve actually who made that decision. However, Mike was the beneficiary of it because he had the gravel bike. So our trail turned into a dirt road, which then turned into an unmaintained dirt road, which then turned into a gravel road before we got back to pavement. And so we were on that for about 40, 50K. And after about 10K, Mike found his Moxie or whatever it was, and he was flying. He was leaving Steve and I in the dust, literally in the dust.
Rocks.
And rocks. It was pretty impressive to see, actually. So Mike is the king of the gravel route in terms of the Spinning Wheels Tour.
We're now in Alberta. We crossed over at the end of yesterday. Thinking back on our time in British Columbia, things of note, of course, were mountains.
They have
mountains everywhere. The drivers, I thought, on whole, were not only respectful, but for the most part, pretty courteous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I definitely agree to that. Also, the people. I don't know how many people would come up to us when we parked by the RV or, at a gas station or wherever we were, and just to say, hey, what are you doing? And then when they found out we were cycling across Canada, they were just so unabashedly enthusiastic about what we were doing and the support that they were giving us, and wanted all the information, donations to the GoFundMe, donations to whatever provincial organization they wanted to. It was so impressive, and just also meeting people with Parkinson's, but also just people saying, well, you know what, my so and so or my friend has Parkinson's. Just the connections that we're making, and how friendly and enthusiastic the people were. That stood out for me.
It may be an Ontario thing. I don't know. I guess we'll discover. But I'm used to people sort of keeping to their own, and the number of people who saw our sign or got some inkling about what we were doing and just had to come up and talk with us was heartwarming.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
I was very appreciative of the Jehovah's Witness coming by and donating some money to our cause.
Yes, and that was by the world's largest truck, and I forget the name of the town, but Spirewood, yeah. So yeah, that's just an example, right, of someone just coming up and dropping $20 towards the cause. So yeah, we definitely appreciate that.
Okay, so we've had some inquiries about the donation structure that we're going with. So we thought that we should explain it. We have essentially three types of donation structures. One is a GoFundMe page, which is essentially what's putting us on the road and having all of these encounters and experiences. Pays for gas and food and the like.
Mm-hmm.
So contributions to the GoFundMe page, 100% of it go to those expenses, but it does not come with a charitable receipt. It's really just a favor that you're doing. Another one to describe the other two.
Oh, and so you can go on the site, right, and choose one of the charities that we partnered with. So we're in Alberta now, right? So it's the Parkinson's Association of Alberta. Or when we get to Manitoba, it's U-Turn Parkinson's. Or what the big one that we really like is a Passion for Parkinson's out of the Greater Toronto area. So those types of donations, come with a charitable receipt. All right, so you'll log on there, you'll get, you'll make your donation, you'll get a charitable receipt in the mail or automatically over email once you do that. The third time is a sponsorship, right? That corporate sponsorship. But if you want some free advertising for basically giving us money to make sure that we can get across the country, then you can do a corporate sponsorship. So, and then we'll come up with some intriguing, sexy way to promote your company.
Like this.
Like this.
Jim,
Yeah.
have you ever had aches and pains which have kept you off the road?
Oh my goodness, Stephen. Yes, I have. Why do you ask?
Well, because I know of an outfit called Athletes Care.
Athletes Care?
They really care.
So Athletes Care is one of our kind sponsors, and we just want to thank them. They're in Southwestern Ontario, physiotherapy. So if you're ever there, check out Athletes Care.
You guys got to work on sexy.
That's almost as sexy as we get. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's the money structure. One thing we didn't say, that if there's money left over in the GoFundMe page, then we will distribute that money evenly to all the charities that we have partnered with. So there is no extra money left over at the end.
There's one other wrinkle with Passion for Parkinson's. We have an agreement with them that they are prepared to assist us with a percentage of proceeds to help us with our expenses.
That's right, and we appreciate that very much. Okay, so do you want this one?
No.
All right. So
sure.
I don't know whether or not you were listening last Sunday, but we were on CBC Radio 1's Fresh Air, and we're hoping to be on again. But so it's the link to that, I believe you can find on the website under media. So we were lucky, and that's just another example of how lucky we are to be on the air on a radio station. And this one was CBC, and we really enjoyed our time there. So we get to talk about what we're doing and how much, how challenging it is, to be honest with you, because, as Steve relayed the numbers to you, that's pretty challenging, but how worthwhile the effort is, and to be honest with you, how much fun we're having, because we are having a lot of fun. And Parkinson's is a complicated disease, but how we feel about this is not complicated.
And thanks to Rick, who made that connection for us, and is actually the first question that we've received so far. And Rick's question was, when we're climbing long hills, like the 20 kilometers up hill, what is the thing that keeps us motivated?
Mm-hmm.
When we're
and so we were talking about this earlier. For me, it's that I've always wanted to climb in the mountains, and I really did. I felt lucky to be there. So I tried to stay in the moment, and it was challenging, but yes, it was worth it. And so I just tried to enjoy as much as I could, because everywhere, when you were looking out, right, you were looking out from a mountaintop, and that was just really cool.
And for me, I think I understand the spirit of the question. Like what sort of things might I be telling myself to keep going? When it gets tough, how do I convince myself to go on? My strategy is a little bit different, and I've given this thought. When at the beginning of the ride, if I self-assess it as something that I think is in my skill set, something that I think I can do, I just make a decision at the bottom that I'm going to finish. And having made that decision once, I don't make it again. I just keep climbing, and I don't stop. So it's my motivation is really more of an assessment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and believe me, folks, he does just keep going, and it's I use the word impressive, but it is pretty impressive. That might be it for this week's Spinning Wheels Tour Live YouTube from Alberta, from Calgary. Next week, believe it or not, we're going to be in Saskatchewan. So it's coming to you from a brand new province, and I'm really looking forward to finishing. I know we almost just started Alberta, but I'm looking forward to Alberta. So looking forward to Saskatchewan.
And if there are questions that you want to know about, I don't know whether we do or do not the chat functionality.
Oh, the chat function is up, so you can get in touch that way while we're doing this.
And if the questions come to you outside of the live chat, please send an email to mike@spinningwheelstour.ca.
Okay. Well, until next time, I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And we will see you later. That's Mike.
And thanks, Gail.